So, Mark, did you see that new monolith that mysteriously appeared in the hills outside of Las Vegas? Gas Peak now has this new monolith. Some people are saying that it's a work of art. Others are saying it's a fire hazard. What do you say? Is it aliens?
I didn't think about fire hazard, but I guess that's, if the sun hits it and then it, goes to like grass or something dry, it could light on fire. And I'm surprised people aren't upset because, nature, trails, all that stuff. People hate when you move rocks, much less put a glass type of thing in there, a mirror looking thing. So it's a little bit strange. Now, is this like right off a trail? If it was like in the middle of nowhere, I'd be kind of freaked out if I was just like walking across an open area and saw it. That'd be kind of weird.
I've never been to this area, but I don't think it's too remote, although it's not, right in the middle of where there's a million people. These are fun things. I like this. I never thought about the fire hazard either, and it does seem like a perfect, mirror to start a fire. But other than that, pretty good.
Beam me up, Scotty.
One of the quirkier things that happens in casinos is gamblers eating by their machine. Depending on, if you're a high roller, how important you are. Some casinos offer it to everybody where they'll set up a little table and you can scarf down that great food as you hit the slots. And Big Jackpot, he posted a video. This is more kind of a setup, but he's over there eating that pizza as fast as he can, going back to the machines. Maybe he knew they were filming him, but this is pretty much how it goes every time I see it.
I hope they knew it because otherwise it's kind of nasty. I mean, I think he did it like over the top for the video. Like, I don't know why you're taking a bite and then rubbing your hands on it and then touching the machine. I mean, you can hold pizza with one hand so you could eat and play. So I think it was dramatized just for, the social media post or whatever. But I have seen people doing this with more like traditional type, not a pizza, but like pasta and a steak and stuff, and just sitting there chomping away at it and cutting it up and all that. It's kind of crazy. I mean, sometimes you just need to take a break, but other times if you're hot, you just keep rolling.
Yeah, this is just nasty to me. I don't mean what he's doing with the pizza, just I don't want to mix the slots with the food. And I get, you don't want to leave. And specifically, especially if you want something nice, like you said, though, high rollers, they'll give you a whole steak dinner out there. And, maybe you don't want to spend 2 hours to go for the service and everything else. But I don't know. I feel like you got to separate those two things.
Yeah, just go eat. Yeah, like take a break. Go eat. Enjoy your food. Digest it properly. We don't need people eating at the slots or peeing or pooping themselves at the slots. Like, we can do all those things in the proper places.
But it gives us good videos to look at. So let us know, though, what you guys do. Do people out there, we'd love to know if you guys eat at the machines. I'm sure plenty of you do. And yeah, I'd love to hear your stories about it. So we have bad news to share from Tuscany. And on a couple of shows ago, we shared their $150 free slot play promotion for new members. And this is a tale as old as time, Mark. A great promotion comes out. It's too popular. The bean counters figure out how much it's costing, and then it changes. And that is the case here. They have left the promotion in place, but they've added some restrictions. Specifically, if you're a local, you have to earn 250 points when you go back there on your second visit, and then another 250 points before the third slot play that you get. If you're from out of town, you have to make your repeat visits at least 7 days from when you sign up. So they have added a little caveats. And I did look it up, and if you're playing regular slots, it's 1 point per dollar of coin in. So $250 coin in would be what you need to kind of unlock the next level. Not terrible, and I guess it's $50 just for signing up still, so that could be worth it for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean, they made the long list of things even longer. I made a joke that I fell asleep reading all the rules and how to do this, and then they added some more stuff. But I mean, it makes sense, especially for locals. It's easy for you to get over there and do it. So, including a couple points in there, probably not the worst thing. And I think if you play slots, there's still probably value there and worth doing. So give it a try. And then for people coming from out of town, it stinks that it's 7 days, but kind of makes sense. I mean, does part of you just say roll with it to get people in the door? I mean, a lot of people coming from out of town probably have never been there, don't know about it. This might draw them in, and if they have to come 3 days in a row, that's 3 days that they're probably going to gamble on property. I mean, how many people can actually go in, just get their free play and leave and don't gamble more? I feel like almost nobody does it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting how they split off the out-of-towners and said they have to come back a week later, almost meaning that they really want the locals and to get them to come back. I don't know, but it's a fascinating thing. I do think not a lot of clubs are offering you $50 just to sign up. So just for that first tier, it could be worth it for people, even if you don't want to go back, grab the $50, see what you do with it. You don't even have to gamble anymore. I know they don't love hearing that, but if you're not planning on doing steps 2 and 3, then you can do it. But yeah, this happens all the time. And a good reminder, if you see a promotion you like and you want to take advantage of it, don't look at the expiration date. Don't look at the terms. Just go and do it while it's there, because they can always change it. And I do find it hilarious that you complained about how long the terms were and then they made them even longer. It's perfect.
Yeah, we see this happen quite a few times already this year. Fontainebleau killed theirs after a couple hours, their match and stuff. So hit it early and hard. Don't go to bed like Sean did after doing his walkthrough video.
And like with Fontainebleau, sometimes things come back, and the match came back and I got my status anyway. So sometimes it doesn't bite you in the butt, but sometimes it does. Speaking of Fontainebleau, they are bringing the Powerslap championships there. We talk all about how Resorts World's outside the box, and we have to bring in all of these new types of entertainment to fill all of these venues. And I guess Powerslap is the way to go. General admission tickets are $79 all the way up to $229, and this is going to be on June 28th. We've all seen videos of these slapping competitions. Is this worth a $79 plus fee ticket to go see somebody do it in person?
I don't think so, but I'm sure there's people out there that love this thing and watch it. It's crazy to me. I mean, I love seeing the videos and the people standing there and taking it. I don't know how they all don't have concussions and brain issues. Maybe that's to come, but I don't know how this is even a sport. I mean, it seems worse than boxing almost, because you can't protect yourself in any way. I know it's an open hand slap, so maybe that, makes it better. I'm sure they've done the research, but they should have put like a coupon that you get a free plate of 7 nachos with your ticket, and then it would be valuable.
And let's talk about food. So here's a segment. We have just a few quick food things that we've noticed over the last couple weeks that we thought we would share, starting with the Mochi beignets from Suzuya's on Spring Mountain in Chinatown. Never had Mochi beignets, but in Japan they have Mochi everything and it tastes amazing. I don't know how they get Mochi tasting that good, and these look tremendous.
Yeah, I've never had them, never had anything Mochi, so it would be a new experience for me, but they look cool.
So the next thing is John Curtis eating Las Vegas. He did a comparison of 2 burgers, one at Scotch 80 Prime in the Palms, which is $50. It has a weird octopus ink bun, and it's loaded up very thick. The other one, $15 from Featherblade Butcher, and this is a butcher up in Summerlin that is really well known for their good quality meats. They both look really good. The $15 one, I'm not going to lie, it's thinner, it's simpler, and it looks delicious.
I can't see spending more than $20 on a burger. That's just me, but kind of interesting. Yeah, the octopus ink just doesn't work for me, man.
Sometimes you have to think that you've just overdone it. It's a burger. The Scotch 80 Prime, I mean, that restaurant has great reviews, and I'm sure it tastes really good. He didn't trash the way it tasted at all, but it just feels like too much for a burger. Like they overdid it. The other one, thin, smash burger style. It looks, tremendous. It's a funny day when we're talking about $15 as a cheap burger, but that's where we are.
Yeah, I think Burger Brassier, which I used to love, it was just like off of Paris in the walkway between Paris and Bally's, and they had like a 777 burger or something. It was like $777. I think it came with a bottle of Dom and then had like all this stuff in it, like caviar and lobster and all this crazy stuff, which I wonder if anybody ever actually ordered it. It was over the top, but yeah, sometimes you just go too far.
If they had served it in a suitcase, then it would have been good. People would have spent the money. That was their problem. And that's why they're not around anymore. So last one, nachos, Mark. General admission at Uncommons. This is that mixed use area that's across from Durango. They have these nachos, $14 according to their website. You can add chicken for another $4 or beef for another $6. So, $18 to $20 with all the meat included. This looks like it'll feed 4 people.
Yeah, it's huge. How does it compare to your garbage can nachos or whatever you love from Guy Fieri?
I've only had them on the cruise ship, so I don't know what they are in the restaurant. I mean, I've seen pictures of them. This looks better to me. This looks like, top tier nachos. Hard to tell without actually going out there to try them, but it's always nice to see a good portion because nachos used to be huge, and I feel like shrinkflation has hit the nachos in the last few years.
Nachos used to be like cheap, affordable, and like a massive. You bring out like a huge tray, and everybody at the table could snack on them, and so it's glad to see a bigger portion. And compared to Fontainebleau, it's massive.
As a reminder, we have our Patreon. $5 a month gets you access to our weekly after show. Mark and I spouting off about Las Vegas, laughing, doing all kinds of fun stuff. Patreon.com/MTN Vegas for all of the information. Really appreciate everyone who supports us over there. So we like to talk carpet on the channel, but it's rare that we get a look at a carpet in an employee area of a casino. And I'm sure that many of the employee areas have perfectly nice carpet. Many of them probably have terrible carpet because they don't want to replace it or it's worn down. But we recently got a look at this carpet, Mark. Any guesses as to which casino it is?
Oh, man. Planet Hollywood.
I don't know if you're being serious or not, because whether you looked in the comments, but it is Mirage, and this is an area that I'm assuming they're going to change the carpet when they renovate. And yeah, you get a kind of a cool look. Once you know it's Mirage and you start looking at the carpet, I can kind of see it.
Well, yeah, hopefully they replace it. It's kind of old and dusty, a little bit worn down, so it makes sense. You know, everything's going to be fresh and new. Could you repurpose carpet from the main area and bring it back to the back area?
I don't know. Yeah, just put a little corner somewhere. But for people who watch the show who work in Vegas casinos, what's your favorite back of house carpet? Let us know, because I'd be really interested. This is something I haven't seen a ton of, and cool to see that. So we briefly on the last show talked about Josh and Rachel's 24 hours in Vegas, no hotel. And we thought we'd talk about it on the show because they did this really cool video, and I'll put a link below, where they had 24 hours in Vegas and they decided not to get a hotel. So they basically started early morning, went up and down the strip, kind of started at the north end on the Stratosphere, ended back at the airport a day later, did a concert, did a bunch of activities. In fact, they had a goal of doing 24 sort of iconic activities in town. And yeah, they made their way down. I was super jealous how well they did at the Midway at Circus Circus. They just like killed it. Every time I go there, I'm struggling to get a stuffy for my daughter, and they left with just $20 and tons of animals.
I know, but do you want to win? That's just more stuff that you got to deal with. I would be like,
Yeah, I want to
hand
win.
it out. No, I mean, I could have done this in my 20s. Now, I don't know. Like, maybe I could stay up for the 24 hours, but I definitely wouldn't want to get on an airplane. You know, a 6-hour flight home, I think they said they had. So that'd be terrible. But yeah, you could see them start to drag the last few hours from like 3 a.m. until they get to the airport. And that's where it really hits, and you're wishing that you just had a bed to lie down on. I'm sure, would you have tried to find like an area? I know our buddy Tim will go to Vegas and just like find like a quiet area and try to take a little nap there, instead of checking in late and missing out on like a full day, paying for a full day. So I don't know, man. We should try it. We should do it together. What do you think?
It does sound brutal. I've done similar things, you know, sleeping in airports, and you always sort of regret the middle of the night where you just don't have any energy left and you're losing it and you feel sorry for yourself. And you can kind of feel the tone of that in this video. They didn't film much, but they were just tired, and then they got kind of freshened up in the bathroom in one of the casinos. So I was feeling their pain for sure. And they're going out all day. And I think this is really neat because you don't have the hotel. They were out all day. You know, they didn't do very well with their gambling, but they did a ton of activities. I talked on the last show how they saw the Big Elvis over at the Harrah's. They got a candy-based martini at I Love Sugar. They got one of those big yard drinks as well. So some very iconic things. A lot of sugar though, a lot of booze mixed in, you know, ups and downs, and I could see that not helping either. And then, you know, they ended at the Las Vegas sign. All good. It's a great video, and I think they put a lot of good practical advice for Vegas as well, showing you how much you can really do in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's so great about the strip is you can hop around quite a bit and check out a whole bunch of different stuff. And I think they said they did over 40,000 steps. Josh was smart to bring an extra pair of socks because he was getting, you know, sweaty and blistery. So that was good. But yeah, exhausting. And that's the big thing. Like, you have these sugary drinks, a little bit of alcohol. If you don't keep the buzz going or keep the sugar going, you just crash and it hits extra hard. So that's the tough part of doing this. You can only drink so many Red Bulls in a day.
But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and you got a good story to tell at the end of the day, a good video to share to YouTube. And we love their channel, and check their video out. It's really neat. So speaking of entertainment in Vegas, a new reality show that's Vegas based is coming. And it's called Sin City Tow, and it's coming to the Discovery Channel. I caught this in the Review Journal, have not seen anything of this, but the Review Journal is complaining about how they, you know, kind of stereotype Vegas in this show. Apparently in the first episode, there's a 10 a.m. stripper fight and a grown man dressed like a baby with a giant diaper. Yeah, this is the Las Vegas that they're showing everybody.
I mean, we did show the human snake eating people on Fremont Street. So it is Vegas, but of course they're going to go over the top with it and show the worst, darkest, dirtiest side of Vegas. That's just kind of all reality shows. I mean, it's not like it doesn't happen. We talk about it every week.
Another story, the tow truck driver hooks up this car at the Orleans or near the Orleans and starts to tow it. And then a guy sort of emerges from the car, and then a lady does. And the guy says he's broke. He can't do the drop charge for them to drop it off the tow machine, but he offers him $400 in chips, says he just maxed out his credit card. So there's going to be those kind of sad stories, those over the top characters. As you said, it's reality TV. So they're going to take the most insane sort of things that happen. And, you know, luckily or unluckily, Vegas delivers that all the time. You don't really need to make that up.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some plants you have to imagine with this, as there is with any reality TV, but I'm sure it's all kind of based on stories that the drivers have shared in the past, and they just set it up. But yeah, you're going to see some dark, underseated side of Vegas, the dark side of gambling, all that type of stuff. But I'm sure you'll see some lighthearted, funny stuff. Good things too, hopefully.
And men dressed as babies. I mean, that's a Vegas thing going back all the way to Cirque du Soleil and everything else before that. Who doesn't love seeing men dressed as babies? One of the common themes on this show, as we talk about Las Vegas and its progress into corporate Vegas 3.0, 4.0, whatever has happened, is that we've lost some of the visionaries. And we always talk about the ones downtown, like Derek Stevens and Jonathan Jostle, and some of the sort of, more down home, I guess, service that you get there. Well, one other guy who's been around forever, Michael Gaughan, and we've talked about him as well. He owns the South Point. He's 81 years old. He recently did a panel talking about how Vegas has changed and his sort of vision for Vegas. We talk all the time about how South Point has these deals, how it's packed on the weekends, still has good happy hours. They got the hot dog at the sports book that people love. This is very old school Vegas. And Michael Gaughan, of course, also built the Orleans and the Suncoast and Coast casinos back in the day. And what he said was very interesting. He's like, I'm old school, have to give people value for their money. Then he says, you can't charge for parking.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's great, what you want to hear. And I think that's what people are missing in Vegas is it used to be value everywhere. There's still value to be had for sure, but it's just not the same as it was. It feels nickel and diming, and I'm glad to hear somebody come out and be against it.
He also talks about overpaying for his employees, how he doesn't micromanage. And if he hires somebody to run the place, he's going to let them run the place, but he wants his employees happy. Just runs it very old school. And that's why you still see the South Point for people who are around 20, 30 years ago at the old Coast casinos and the way things used to be. You can see how it's still run that way. And he is going strong, 81. Great to see him put that message out there. Jackie Gaughan's son, so much history in that family as well. They are old school casino people, and it's good that we still have them in Vegas. And speaking of, I feel like at this point, she's an old school casino person. Celine Dion, she's been in the news this week because her new documentary is debuting on Amazon Prime, and it kind of goes through her big struggle with stiff person syndrome that she's been going through. And Johnny Katz in the Review Journal describes this whole 10-minute scene in the documentary, which we haven't seen yet, where she's struggling with this and it's taking over her body. And you know that better times are ahead because we know that she's doing better now, but this was a really crazy journey. And then one little tidbit came out from the New York premiere. One of the reporters asking her if she's coming back to Vegas. She sort of hints at the fact that she will come back to Vegas. She's planning a return. That's despite rumors that we've heard that she's not going to be able to. So hopefully good news there. And for those who love Celine, this doc is coming.
Yeah, crazy. I'd never heard of this syndrome before, and it sounds scary. I'm sure, seeing it on video will be even worse. But good to see, we talked about a couple shows ago how she was out and about in the town and joking and smiling. It's good to see. I'm glad that the rumors are that she's coming back, but a part of me also is like, hey, enjoy your health, now that you have it back, and, take some time. But this is what she loves, so she's probably happiest on stage performing and all of that. So, hey, if that's the way you want to do it, then do it. But a part of me is like, just stay home and enjoy life, a little bit.
She was apparently locked in her house for much of 3 years with this, so I could see why she would want to get back to her joy, to her passion. And it did sound like people weren't giving her any chance of coming back to singing and being able to do that because she wasn't able to even sing or project at all. So really kind of sitting in a good space here. We're happy that she seems to be doing better, whether she comes back or not. But she gave us a little hope. I did watch the clip. It's not like she absolutely said she's coming back, but she just basically said her plans are to. Yeah, I hope she can do it. I mean, I really do. And I mean, you talk about a hot ticket when she comes back to Vegas. I think everybody will be falling over themselves to watch her.
Yeah, it'll be a true residency. We always make a joke about the residencies these days. Huge ticket, and, she could book it up for as long as she wanted to.
So let us know what you guys think about anything we talked about today. Celine, are you hoping she comes back? The 24 hours in Vegas with no hotel, Tuscany changing up their free play promotion. Everything we discussed, hit us up in the comments. We do 2 shows a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, and we'll be back in a couple days with another show. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you next time.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Yeah, I mean, that's the place that the aliens come before they go to Area 54. Or what is it? Area 54? What is it? Area 50?
51.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I don't know what the hell happened there. Okay. All right. yeah, that's beam me up, Scotty.